And what we have here is another project-based type learning tool, a visual thinking network, kind of concept map in a way that you can have students make themselves based on their understanding. They show the relationships between words. Usually they use one-way directional arrows to lead a person through their thought processes, and use verbs or short verb phrases to connect them. So it's kind of a puzzle at the same time. They have to follow a certain set of rules in order to do this. This was one of the first ones I had to do for an education course in order to try and teach it. We were instructed to pick colors that we associate with the meaning of the word, and then afterward, basically write what this is about. So teach it back. So they build this and they teach it back, and you can even go back and revise it after a certain time. As you understand more, you go back and you can redo it as you learn more. So sometimes they have them do a pre-V10 based on their current understanding as best they can, and then redo it and make more connections or redo the connections as their understanding is increased. This particular one is on historical geology. So it usually depends on the individual, or they may have start with a few words and then cluster those together, have a central concept and radiate from that, then connect some other things, or have several different little groups that they put together and then find connections between them. The goal is to have, there's 25 terms on this one, is to have every one of these, all the terms connected somehow, even if it's just one thread to it. And some have multiple threads. So you got Earth history, historical geology, Earth's history, geologic timescale organizes Earth history, uniformitarianism theorizes Earth's history, it's broken up by unconformity, contributes to forming a geologic map. Jurassic Park, 250 million years ago in East Texas. Well, actually, this goes this way. Dinosaurs, found 250 million years ago in East Texas in Jurassic Park. Fossilization includes fish, leads to index fossils, which again it contributes to forming geologic maps. So they use dinosaurs through the KT event, extinction. And of course, I chose black here for extinction because of death. Industrial processes, light blue, increased CO2. We're supposed to pick colors that kind of made us think of we associated with the term. And I think one of the mistakes, this one, the first one I did, and I wasn't real good at picking all the colors. So then you would draw this on a piece of paper and color it in, and then write about it. I chose to do it in PowerPoint. That way I could use these things, and I could manipulate around instead of index cards, move this around, and play with it as I change my mind. Atmosphere, light blue, because you think about the sky. Dinosaurs, gray, because traditionally when growing up, they're more colorful now, but they were all gray at one time. Dinosaurs through evolution eventually gave rise to prehistoric man, which increased the human population. And they invent industrial processes, which lead to increased CO2. contributes to concentration of pollution within the atmosphere, decreasing sustainability, leading to extinction. And same word, but I went ahead and put it in two ways. This particular map, since I couldn't, it would be a mess to try to put a line all the way back over here and it's get confusing. I just did the word again on over there. So this is an example. Made some mistakes at first, and I mentioned in teaching this, students do have a problem at first because this would be something new to them. They have to come up with, within a set of rules, everything their own. So there's, depending on what kind of students you have and where you're at, on how much resistance you get to that. If you're trying to differentiate, just to give a limited number of terms and lead them through the process. You want to model for them how to do it first and build the connections. So they definitely, this is a process that definitely needs to be modeled for a lot of students nowadays. And the paper that goes with this, the explanation, you usually go ahead and you, after they do this, you have them actually write and teach it back to them. So this is the geologic timescale organizes Earth's history based on index fossils and unconformity. Index fossils and unconformity have been used to form geologic maps. Relative age of different strata is indicated by the half-life of radioisotopes and index fossils. The fossilization of birds, fish, dinosaurs, insects, plants have been used as index fossils and narrow down strata within eras. Birds are believed to have evolved from dinosaurs. There's a degree of confidence in use of age indicators due to the belief of uniformitarianism. Hopefully your pronunciation of these are better than mine. The fossilization of plants led to fossil fuels, with which man used in ever-increasing amounts as industrial processes increased. With increased use of fossil fuels has come an increase in carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, concentration of pollution, and a rise in global temperature. Eventually, the sustainability of the environment will reach a limit and lead to the extinction of mankind. So there's also some forward thinking on some of these. You look at for a pattern and you make a prediction. The dinosaurs are theorized to have been killed off by a 6-mile wide meteorite that struck the Earth, which they call the KT event. Gondwanaland is believed to have been a supercontinent that broke apart through plate tectonic spreading that eventually led to the current group of continents. So by connecting all the terms, knowing their meanings, and finding the connections through it, the student builds a more complete and more detailed understanding of the subject matter. And of course, I'm going to do some other ones. I played around with this and got better at this, and get better at choosing the colors that actually made me think, and actually pictures later on. And of course, you could also use other media to do this. You can draw pictures on a poster. People might, if you wanted more of a three-dimensional thing, they could use actual objects and things and make something they could walk through. You can make a visual thinking network mobile. You can incorporate art. This happens to be used for history, but it can be used for any subject. You can, of course, associate, you might have sounds associated with these if you want. Maybe, especially if you're doing a PowerPoint, you click on it, it might play a song or a sound that you also associate with the word. If you're using some other media, you might have a scratch and sniff, or something that gives off a scent, so you got a smell that's associated with the meaning of the word. Also, maybe taste or whatever else. There's a lot of creativity that could be incorporated in this. Anyway, that's it for now. and I'll try to get another one, another example later. Thank you.